Usually used for security, but today this video doorbell alerted its owner to the fact that the house was being flooded.
Well, I was at work, working, and I saw on our Ring doorbell just all the water gushing out the front of the house, and I thought that's not normal rain, something's happened, because it was setting off the alarm.
How are you feeling right now?
Scared. I just want my dog to come out and be rescued, and that's all I care about, really.
Earlier this afternoon, Nottinghamshire Fire and Rescue Service said they received reports of a burst water main on a construction site at around 2:20. A number of properties were evacuated and dozens have been affected by the flooding.
We're working in conjunction with police to isolate the incident, but also working closely with Severn Trent to isolate the supply as quick as possible, and also NET and their colleagues when looking at transport around the area. So at the minute we've evacuated a number of premises to make safe. We've got a number of elderly residents we're looking after as well, and thankfully the local vicar of the church just behind you are looking after a number of residents as well.
So we're looking at about 2 hours in regards to this being fully isolated and then us taking you into the property.
Some people living nearby took to bailing out their homes, brushing the water away from their houses and out into the street. For Rosie, this isn't the first time water has caused havoc here.
We flooded once before, just with the heavy rain, but it wasn't like this, and we thought, well, there's no rain, where's it come from? My partner Tim's doing a really good job. He's having all these ideas, putting the concrete blocks and the bins sort of lying in the driveways, because our driveways are on a slope as well, so it's all just rushing down. Our back garden's like a swimming pool.
When Jessica got home from work, despite the state of the house, her main priority was being reunited with her dog, Cassie.
She was already a rescue at 1. This is the second rescue of her life, and she's 16 now, so...
All right, sweetheart.
Well, we'll be going back to Jodie for an update a little bit later in the programme. Back to our top story now, and of course those astonishing scenes in Beeston. After damage to a water pipe sent water absolutely skyward. Homes are being flooded, people told to leave, roads closed, and Jodie is still there for us tonight. Jodie, hi to you. I mean, is it still actually leaking?
Well, in short, Anne, yes, it is, but nowhere near as bad as it was earlier on. Now, around 20 to 4 this afternoon, residents on Gwenbrook Avenue were told by Nottinghamshire Fire and Rescue Service that it would take a couple of hours for Severn Trent to isolate the problem. Well, Severn Trent says its teams are on site and they're working to keep customers supplied and to fix the problem. Now, as well as road closures like this one on the high road in Beeston, the incident is also causing delays and diversions on public transport too. Nottingham's tram operator says there's no service between the University of Nottingham and Toton Lane, and a couple of bus routes are affected as well. So the advice really is to check before you travel.
I mean, the water looks dreadful there behind you, Jodie. What's the situation with the people who actually had to get out of their homes?
Well, as you can imagine, this must be pretty devastating and shocking, just totally out of the blue as well. What we've been told is the fire service says 10 residents have been evacuated and are currently at this church to the right of me here, and overnight accommodation is being looked at by emergency planning.
And what about a clear up? How's that going?
Well, the clear-up hasn't really begun because the problem hasn't yet been fixed. But even though it's dark, people are still out in their gardens trying to keep the water away from their homes, out of their gardens as much as possible to try and minimise the damage that it could cause. And I'll be back here tomorrow to see how that's going.
OK, Jodie, thanks very much indeed. And well, our very best to all the people affected by that tonight.